Tonight on Sports Sunday, even with today's loss, the Astros haven't seen a series loss in 7 weeks.
We're one of the best teams in baseball, even with some guys out.
And what a Father's Day for the Biggios. Craig in the stands, his son, now a major leaguer, on the field he grew up on.
Watching your son play in the big leagues is pretty special. I mean, pretty incredible.
A look back at the special weekend.
And anything but smooth sailing for the Texans. What should be the quietest time of the year is, well, not. The Houston Chronicles' Jerome Solomon is here to sort it out.
Let's all celebrate. Sports Sunday starts right now.
Live from KPRC Channel 2, this is Sports Sunday, presented by Nissan.
All right, welcome into Sports Sunday, everybody. Randy Wax-Laney with you. We're going to have some fun over the next half hour. A lot to get to. Also, a one-on-one I did with Texans quarterback Jonathan Joseph on what Father's Day means to him.
And more Father's Day fun at the ballpark, as you saw with the Biggios. I go one-on-one with Kevin Biggio. A special weekend for that family.
It was really fun for everybody involved. Maybe not so much for the Astros, which is where we get started. Out at the ballpark today to finish up their series.
All right, Father's Day at the ballpark. Before the game, check it out. Hector Rondon, Alex Bregman, Yuli Gurriel, Perez, they caught their first pitches from their fathers. I mean, look at that shot.
Yeah, how about that for Lourdes Gurriel Sr.? 2 of his sons playing in the game, and Lourdes Jr. puts a smile on Dad's face. That's his 5th home run of the year. Astros, though, blown out. Tyler White gives up one of the Astros' 5 homers on the day. They lose 12-0.
We've been one of the best teams in baseball for this stretch where a portion of our team has been on the injured list. So I think our guys have done a good job of coming to the ballpark ready to play. I think we've won series after series after series. We're one of the best teams in baseball, even with some guys out.
That ball's crushed. He's done it again. Yordan Alvarez. That was loud.
He's 21 years old and has arrived in the big leagues with a bang. Yordan Alvarez spent his first week launching bombs at Minute Maid Park. Pretty incredible stuff from what his new nickname has become, the Man-Child.
It's a good one.
He is unbelievable to watch. The composure he's had since day one.
And the patience.
It looks like he belongs out there. It's definitely been a jolt to the Astros offense. A.J. Hinch, pretty easy decision every day, guys. Just in that lineup card, put his name down there somewhere.
It was nice to also see him in left field over the weekend a little bit because they're headed to a National League park. Obviously, over the course of the season, everybody needs a day off here or there, and he's clearly been impressing everybody that's been around him. Monster shots on all these homers. He's impressed everybody with the team.
I think his composure is what's impressing everyone the most, too, and just his discipline at the plate.
Yeah, a one-handed home run. Yeah, I think we're going to see more of those. Here's some reaction from his teammates. They're impressed.
He's having an enormous impact for us. I mean, goes without saying. He's in the batter's box. He's in complete control of the at-bat. So his productivity has been sensational.
His plate discipline is unbelievable. He doesn't strike out a lot. He waits for his pitches, and that's why he's producing like he is.
It'll be fun to see when the other guys come back. Altuve had another good rehab night tonight. Springer's probably going out this week. They'll find a spot for Alvarez. I was
going to say, I don't think he's going anywhere.
No doubt.
He belongs. I think he's proven that the first week. Hey, that was the story. They win the series, but a side note, all weekend at Minute Maid.
Talking about another guy who belongs, Kevin Biggio, and that is just such a cool story with his family. It was Biggio weekend at the ballpark. I actually got the chance to talk with Kevin and Craig after the game.
I think that if you ask, I don't know, like any big leaguer to have your kid in the big leagues, this is pretty amazing.
Amazing may be an understatement. Just weeks after making his major league debut, Kevin Biggio made another debut of sorts at the ballpark he knows all too well.
I've explored this whole place during games, my brother and I. I mean, I can't tell you how many times me and him had a fake press conference in here where during the game we come in here and the mic was still on and, we're acting like we're Phil Garner or something, explaining how Craig Biggio hit the game-winning hit or whatever.
Growing up the son of a Hall of Famer, it's now coming full circle with Dad in the stands cheering for him as he is now the big leaguer.
Definitely a little weird at first, being a place where I've come to many times throughout my childhood and whatnot. So at first weird, but after getting there a couple innings, things just kind of started flowing and just started playing the game.
Absolutely loved in your press conference how you talked about how many times you had fake press conferences in that very same room with your brother Connor. What are some of your other favorite memories here at this ballpark?
I think it's just being around the guys and being in the clubhouse on the other side and being in the batting cage with my brother and just kind of just being around the Astros teams that we idolize, and I think that just has gone such a long way. Not only in my baseball career but also in my life, and those are the memories that I'm going to remember for the rest of my life.
This weekend is a memory Craig will remember for the rest of his life too. He's now enjoying the chance to pass along his knowledge and experience to Kevin.
Just be yourself and continue to just work hard, and that's the only thing that really the game expects out of you, is just give it everything you got every single day.
What does he tell you after these games when you guys talk?
I think it's just take it one game at a time. Don't dwell on it too much if it's a good game or bad game. So really just give yourself some time after the game, really reflect on what went on and what you can get better at.
What does the city of Houston mean to you in your baseball career?
I don't know if I can really put that in words. The fans here are great. The way they applauded for me this weekend was, it was really cool for me. But I think it's even cooler for my dad as a parent, as an ex-player of playing here for 20 years. I think it just goes to show how much this city and fans, how much they appreciate and respect him. And I think that just goes such a long way.
Isn't that so cool, seeing those shots of him in the dugout when he was so little and celebrating on that field? I mean,
a lot of memories.
Can't imagine.
A lot of memories, and their sons made it to the big leagues. Very, very, very cool for Cavan Biggio. Really cool to see that happen. Remember a lot of stories over the last 15 years through high school when Craig was their coach at St. Thomas High School.
That's one of the things he said was the best part about his post-playing career. Got to coach both of his sons together there. And obviously all of this takes place today on Father's Day.
And it's Father's Day, too. What more perfect place than to spend it right here? You got the win. Obviously, I know he was pulling for you, even though he's an Astro. What did your dad say to you after the game?
I'm actually going to go talk to him right now. But what I could really expect from him is just a good game and whatnot, and probably, keep working hard.
It was a great Father's Day weekend. Getting the opportunity for him to come play in a building that I've played my whole career, and so it was exciting, and now we're looking forward for him to hopefully continue to go out there and keep working hard.
They both said keep working hard. Did you notice that?
Yep.
He says a lot of things like his dad.
Cavan learned a lot from Craig. Watching him do his thing. Of course, he's in the Hall of Fame. Maybe Cavan will be there one day.
He's having a good start from this weekend moving forward.
Cal McNair said it all in his statement the other day. Again, I'll go back to the statement that Cal made, and I'll go with the statement again. I stand by the statement that Cal made. Cal made a statement, and he had to make a tough decision, and he evaluated everything.
That's what Bill O'Brien said Tuesday as a search for the new general manager began and now has seemingly ended in the case of Nick Caserio. Interesting times for the Texans, to say the least.
All right, let's talk more Texans now. Wex and I joined by this guy to my right. You know him well, Chronicle columnist Jerome Solomon. Good to see you, man. Welcome aboard. And we had a little bit to talk about on the Texas front. It's been an interesting, 10 days?
It's not football season.
It's supposed to be quiet,
It's supposed to be like this.
What's the general thought on let's just say the last 10 days or so? What's been going down, what they were trying to do, and what didn't happen?
The general thought is you should probably play the Benny Hill music in the background of any discussion about the Texans right now, because they don't know what they're doing. And if you know what you're doing, your organization's operating smoothly, you don't fire general managers in June anyway. I mean, this is done after the season is over or immediately after the draft even, but not now. So it's an odd timing to fire someone. It's even worse to fire someone to go after a guy you don't even know if you're going to get permission to talk to him yet. It's just a mess. I mean, there's no other way to put it.
In the midst of all that, you have the Bill O'Brien, who has a relationship with Caserio, having been there before. You have Jack Easterby, who's now with the Texans. Obviously, there's a relationship there. Where's the disconnect on what they're trying to do, what they hope to do? It's the communication that clearly they're friends. You're allowed to talk to your friends, but obviously it gets cloudy after that.
Yeah, you're friends, but weren't they all friends with Brian Gaine?
Of course. So we're letting him leave.
Especially,
going to be the guy.
And how do you come and tell me that this guy isn't good enough? And he worked for you for 3 years before you brought him back to this spot. So it's not like they hired him off of a LinkedIn profile or something. They knew who he was. They knew what he was about. And it's astonishing that you can operate this poorly and this disjointed. And then clearly they tampered with Nick Caserio. The Patriots accused him of that. There's no question they tampered, because that's why they allegedly backed off.
Well, with all this that's gone down now with Caserio, and of course we had the statement the other day from Cal McNair, What does this make the Texans organization look like externally from everybody else nationally looking at the way things are being operated?
They look like the Texans, which is not good. But keep this in mind. We make fun of them. They get roasted around the league for, missteps, and we call it bungling sometimes, et cetera. It almost has nothing to do with what will happen on the field this season. I mean, it doesn't matter if Caserio comes here or if Gain had stayed here or if they operate without they operate without a general manager. That might be a problem. They won't affect how many touchdown passes Deshaun Watson throws. It won't affect winning and losing this year. It will affect how your operation runs down the road.
Well, you'll ultimately say, well, if they operate without a general manager, that is a problem. Is it a possibility for this team to really go that route where Bill and Chris Olsen and Jack Easterby and Cal are running the personnel side
patchwork
as a quartet?
I think it's very, very much a possibility because, one, it's June. I mean, the good general managers have jobs. So the people that are available are, off the scrap heap who didn't do well where they were. So they're free and single and ready to mingle, of course. Or you're going to hire somebody who's never done it before, and he's an assistant trying to, get the promotion. And when that happens, Bill O'Brien's going to run the show anyway.
And that person you're talking about also does not currently work for the Texans. They don't have somebody like that they could move forward.
Because they cleared out everyone when Rick Smith stepped away. They started erasing Rick Smith people.
The Bill O'Brien, what was y'all's takeaway from when Bill talked the first time this past week? Obviously, he addressed all the questions regarding the GM situation. Just watching his expressions, dodged them. His expressions and remarks he made. Takeaway from that.
I try not to dig too deeply into someone that I don't know extremely well, so you don't know when he's lying and when he's telling the truth. Because I don't want to just call the man a liar, even if he was lying half the time. But he did seem to try to shift all of the all of the direction of why Gain was fired to Cal McNair. He seemed to want to make sure that everyone realized he's not in charge, which is what a person would do when they're in charge.
I mentioned the other day, too. I mean, Bill talked. I was, I guess, not totally surprised that Cal didn't talk because he doesn't address the media very often. But coming on the heels of that move, I thought that was the time that Cal McNair should have been in front of the media answering questions.
You let someone go that high up in your organization, I think you have an obligation to speak to the fans.
Absolutely.
More than just that statement.
But does it surprise you that he didn't?
This one it does. I mean, because he hasn't really spoke to the media at all. You make that move. It doesn't have to be long. And we're a soft media market here. We're not going to attack him.
Right.
He fired a guy that he's the boss. It's his job. And it's not like he fired someone that's beloved around here or someone who everyone's like, man, I can't believe you fired that guy. He's been here
cup of coffee here
17 months. Who cares, right?
The Texans talk will not die down between now and training camp. Here's Jerome Solomon, Houston Chronicle, Houston Sports Show coming up next after Sports Sunday as well. And happy Father's Day to you.
Same to you.
To Wex as well.
Oh, thanks.
It's a Father's Day for all
fathers here.
Good stuff, man. Appreciate it.
Happy Father's Day, guys. At Pebble Beach for the U.S. Open, it was Gary Woodland out front since Friday. Brooks Koepka trying to claim a third straight U.S. Open, the only one even pressuring him, but his birdie on 18 wouldn't drop. Woodland made sure things weren't close at the end, burying another long birdie to win his first major by 3 shots. Also had the lower score to par even at Pebble Beach.
Everybody back for Chile as Dahl Kemper floats one up. It didn't go to press. Blasted. What a goal for the U.S.
Yeah, get used to that. Another easy World Cup match for the U.S. women. Carly Lloyd, the former member of the Houston Dash, 2 of the 3 U.S. tallies. Julie Ertz had the other, and the U.S. advances with the victory. They will win Group F with a victory or a tie against Sweden. Those 2 teams will match up coming up on Thursday. All right, coming up on this Father's Day edition of Sports Sunday, I go one-on-one with Texas quarterback Jonathan Joseph. We're not really talking football, but instead talking family, what his role of a father of 3 means to JJ.
Plus, isn't it time for Rockets owner Tillman Fertitta to find a way to get the deal done with Mike D'Antoni? He has earned it, but will it happen? We'll discuss that when Sports Sunday returns.
Sports Sunday on KPRC, brought to you by Nissan.
We brought in this cool room, basically mobile cool room that we think can help. We really haven't determined we're going to be meeting about that over the next couple days, among many other things. But how to use that properly during training camp, because I think it fits about 35 guys in there.
Tough luck for the other 55. Texans announced their training camp dates starting July 25th in the open training camp practices for fans who will need a ticket.
And here are the 6 dates for the open practices. 9 a.m. workouts at NRG. August 14th and 15th, the Texans will be working out with the Lions. Randy?
The Texans have their offseason behind them now. Next, of course, the start of training camp coming up at the end of July. That's going to mark the start to year number 9 here in Houston for cornerback Jonathan Joseph. He, of course, is a veteran on this Texan squad. He's enjoyed a great career so far. But for J. Joe, it's all about being a husband and a father. I caught up with J. Joe this past week at NRG Stadium.
You know, it's Father's Day. What does that mean to you? I mean, you're a proud dad. You got kids. You're balancing football. You're balancing family. How difficult is that?
It's a difficult task, but at the end of the day, we are professionals. You know, it's no different with me growing up, me being up there with my grandparents or with my father. He had to go to work, but at the same time, he had to come back home and take care of his responsibilities as a father, be there for me when I'm in need. And, you know, for my kids, I try to do the same thing and try to lead by example. Whenever they need to talk, you know, whether they need me to listen, play video games, go outside and play with them, or just be there just to be in their presence, you know, whatever that may be for my kids. You know, I try to be that at all times, because at the end of the day, we can only lead by example, like I said, and, you know, I'm their example.
All right, be honest, on the video games, do you try to win?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. I played my son last night, and I killed him. But at the same time, I was coaching, I was teaching and learning him, you know, and just trying to get him to the point to where, you know, I want him to be the best at whatever he does. And we was playing video games, and I was just, you know, because he look at me that I'm older and don't think I can play video games. You know, they think the video game just came out, you know, a year ago. So I just try to get in there with them and just try to teach them certain things to where when they're playing their friends, they can win.
You've got 3 kids, the ages 15, 11, and 4, so you're seeing a little bit of everything. As a parent, that's kind of the things you got to deal with.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. You know, I'm at the teen stage. I'm right there before the teen stage, and then I'm right there. You know, my daughter, she's 4, and she's the handful. Yeah. You know, she's the firecracker of them all, and she's the little one that gets in the middle of it, you know, whether it's the oldest son, my oldest, or my middle son. If anything was to for sure happen, we know who started and who instigated it up, but she's always got the love and caring face, so we always try to forgive her, but at the same time, we just try to hold them accountable and teach them the right way and let them learn and just be kids at the end of the day.
Has it been hard doing what you do for a living to separate that when you go home?
I think over time, you know, being in it for as long as I have, you kind of learn how to deal with both. You know, whether you're having a good day or a bad day. I think when I get home, you know, my family, my wife, and my kids, they treat me just as I had the best day in the world. No matter what happens when I get in the house, it's always the same.
Makes you feel good?
And it makes me feel good that I'm able to come home to that, you know, at the end of the day, because a lot of times, you know, it's rough years, it's rough days, but at the end of the day, as long as you have your family, you'll be okay.
What's the most fun part of being a dad?
Just watching your kids enjoy themselves. You know, just be kids. I think today's world, we put a lot of pressure on them, whether it's academics, whether it's sports, or whatever it may be, for our kids, and we all want our kids to excel at whatever they're doing. So for me, whenever my kids are just having the best time of their life, whether you know, laughing and having a smile on their face, that's when I'm happy.
On Father's Day, what's the best Father's Day for you? If you were to draw it up like the perfect day, what would it be?
Oh, the best perfect day for me, just relaxing. All 3 of my kids relaxing. You know, whether we're at the pool, at the house, out to dinner, whatever it may be. Just, you know, being entertained by my kids and just playing around and goofing off with them.
Awesome, man. Great conversation. Yep, congrats. Happy Father's Day to you.
Appreciate the same to you. Thank you.
All right, enjoyed the chat with J. Joe. He gets a little break now until training camp opens in late July, but all about family for J. Joe.
We'll see what kind of break the Rockets have right now as we continue to talk about the head coaching saga that just doesn't seem to want to go away.
Yeah, I think we can all agree. The players, I've heard it from them. I talked to Daniel House a week ago. They like Mike D'Antoni. They want him. I think Tillman Fertitta said the same thing. It's just a matter of working out these details.
Tillman likes him. Tad likes him. Daryl likes him. Daniel likes him. The players love him, and yet they still haven't figured out how to get a deal done. I asked Tad Brown about that very thing just a couple days ago.
Coach is the best. Had a chance to talk to him this weekend. We love Mike being our coach now and in the future. And really, you know, as far as that goes, there's been way too much already in the media. Those conversations are going to take place between our organization and his team.
Again, the only thing I think we all agree on is Mike D'Antoni will be the head coach when the season begins.
Yes.
Beyond that, who knows?
How about the way the West is shaking out? The big trade the last couple of days. Anthony Davis on his way to L.A. to join LeBron and the Lakers. I don't know. They're back in contention.
Yeah,
now,
the
guys.
non-playoff Lakers are now the favorites to win the West, to win the NBA championship. We take a look at those odds. For this again was Friday before the trade went down. The Lakers were already favorites. Note the Rockets there at 10-1. But look what the odds did the next day when the trade was announced and reported. Again, it's not official. Lakers get the bump. The Rockets actually got a little bump as well. They went from 10-1 to 8-1. Both of them ahead of the Warriors. The Clippers are even stuck in there as well.
What do you guys think about the Pelicans? I think that people are saying that they think they got screwed in the deal. I don't think so. I think
they got a big haul.
I
big
know.
haul and building for the future.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. All right, still ahead on Sports Sunday. It was a long time coming for St. Louis to celebrate the Blues in a Stanley Cup title. What it meant to everybody, including their young super fans. Sports Sunday's back in 2 minutes.
She's a special individual. Everything about her is awesome.
Layla, you need the Stanley Cup here. Come on, Layla.
The Blues Parade, 52 years in the making, about 11 for Layla Anderson, getting her turn to once again raise and kiss the cup. Great scene for the inspirational youngster as the Blues celebrated that first Stanley Cup with her and thousands of fans.
One more from Father's Day. Former Astros catcher Martin Maldonado had an addition to his gear today. He wore a tie in honor of Father's Day, had the names of family and friends he wanted to honor for the day. No doubt he was the best dressed in baseball today. Sports Sunday will be right back in 2 minutes.
Sports Sunday on KPRC, brought to you by Nissan.
So let's end with shout outs to our own dads. Hi, Willie, my dad in New Orleans. Going to see him in a couple days. So happy Father's Day to him.
Awesome. Got a chance to see my dad, Michael, today. So happy Father's Day there as well.
And my dad, Connie, I know he's watching. He's 82. I think he's still up. He usually watches and then critiques the show the next day.
Can't wait to hear about it.
Let me know what he says.
Good stuff. We'll talk to you next week.